Most founders are trying to search for the perfect idea, but that is the problem. Kill or build, how to rate your idea against a framework that really makes sense. This is what I'm going to show you right now. We're gonna go and take like a live example, so stay tuned. The question is kill or build. I built this environment. This is basically a cloud project for the evaluation system, and I asked it for many of the templates from great universities of the US, of the world, and also for startup playbooks from Sam Altman to Eric Ries, to give me some frameworks, some templates, and also it gets with some project instructions. So of course this is gonna be updated here for the cloud project. I'm gonna tell you now how this will look like. So this is the basic idea. Let's say I was in an office and I'm a leadership person. So my problem is that I always have people who are gathering all the updates that I have for all the teams from Slack, Notion, maybe Linear, GitHub, Jira, whatever, and they're gonna write me a leadership brief so that I can, let's say, brief my team on a Monday morning or whenever I have the weekly workout. The thing is, it becomes outdated very quick. So let's say if we drill down a little bit deeper into that, we can see that the underlying information is chaotic, leadership lacks context, and so on. So what we can do here is actually we could um, we could take the this idea and the project itself may outtake it may give myself the intake format template. So this is the template. So what we can do now is we can either describe let's say the idea here, and before describe something saying okay, um, we are gathering updates from Slack, Notion, and Linear. There is a leadership brief that becomes very quickly outdated. It costs a lot of money. It costs a lot of time. Underlying information is constant. Leadership lacks context. Works duplicated, priorities drift. Menu copy paste. 3 to 6 hours of week of senior ops time. So this is very important. It is expensive, and also the tools that we have already, they're already paid but they don't solve this one, so I need to find a solution. My idea is that I'm finding a system, an AI service that is actually acting as my AI chief of staff for my SaaS teams. Use the following template to outline the intake for me. So let's see what it does so that we can have a look here, if we're getting the result that we want. All right, so here's the one line, and I made one mistake. I didn't say output as MD code to copy. If we go something like that, we will see that this makes more sense. So I just want to show you how I'm going to use ChatGPT in this perspective. So let's give it out. While it's creating, I have also the intake format in here. If you want to copy that, I will also bring it into the bio and an example for you as well. But first, let's understand how it's gonna work, and we're gonna ask for it directly. I just opened this evaluation and ranking idea here because there's a beautiful drawn um, ranking. Okay, we will just take this one here for the evaluation system. So basically what it does is, in the first step, it will standardize the intake based on 8 fields, so it's from biopain and so on, and it gives a clinical tone that makes it possible to structurize the data and to rate it. So first rating will be the painkiller features, so it must check those 7 passes, and then the after, in step number 3, it can score. So the score is based on three blocks. So the first one is the buy and pain, the next one is for purchase and economics, and then the mode. The mode is probably the most important one, because let's say if there's a company doing that already, like, or shift like a little bit different, then don't want to replace them, or you want to replace them, but this is a scorecard criteria that you really want to come across. So after it gets you this scorecard, and this scorecard maybe like a maximum of 40 points, it will rate it with a deployment gap multiplier. So what is that? Let's jump back to our project here, because I added this document here. So this document is from Anthropic. It will tell us about economical finance, and I just open it here. So it tells us about, and it's current. It's from 10 days ago, that the labor market impacts of AI has new measurements, and it gives also early advices and adjustments. So this is an overview of the theoretical capability that, let's say, we can have by the category. So that means if you are working in business and finance, for instance, then the capability of AI, the theoretical capability is up to, I would say, 90%. I think in the paper it says something around 94%. So you may be replaced. But hey, being ahead of the wave means that you're not going to be replaced because you know the game and you're gonna jump in there. So this is already something that we are just in here, right? Like in a business case or somewhere in management around these cases here, the blue, which can be replaced by AI theoretically. So let's have a look how it serves here. So this is what we call the deployment gap multiplier. So with this multiplier, it can go like 1, 1.1, 1.2, 1.25 to rate your idea and say, hey, the capability here, let's say in business and finance or management, may be super high. So it will rate your 40 points or however many points you scored and give you something back. So then the next step would be to score or to categorize into bands. So basically, you want to know if immediately you have to kill it because it doesn't make sense. I mean, based on, let's say, the scoring here, this is not a good idea. Or you want to see, okay, well, maybe I can reframe that one. I'm going to reframe it. And the process will give us some recommendations on that. We will see. Then, of course, the good idea, then maybe just fix or tweak the little things that we need to adjust to make it amazing. If it's already amazing, then just go with that. So it will give us the output. All right, so we have our one line already here. So I'm gonna just copy them into a new chat. But before I'm copying them, I will show you that we have here already the prompts to do so. So here, this is one that we need. It says here are multiple ideas. So you just noted it. You can also use this system and rank multiple ideas. Let's say if you noted down 10 ideas in the last week, you want to know which one is the best one of them. Based on this system, it makes a lot of sense, so you can rate it. So I say here is my idea and intake format, run the pass one score, score the idea using the scorecard, rank it, and explain it in plain language. All right, and then I copy this one here again, and I just run it. So while it's running, we're gonna have a look here what it actually means if we interpret the outcome. So the outcome can be a kill criteria. So we want to know if, let's say, there is no buyer passing within the next 7 days, or maybe there is like a specific budget line that we cannot name, or maybe there's another problem within, let's say, our idea request, or let's say it requires, or it gives us a recommendation if we decide to take the path of demand testing. So maybe we can, let's say, cold outreach on LinkedIn DM or whatever community that we feel in this idea would be fine, maybe like in also our local community or whatever, and we can ask for this idea, for instance, like what is your system for for weekly briefs? Like, do you have a system already? Like, we just be open and go in the conversation. If we find that, let's say, 5 out of 20 conversations will pick that up and say like, hey, this is really a problem. Like, do you have a solution for that? Then we may go ahead. Otherwise, we won't. So let's have a look. We're gonna kill it if it is underneath 22 points or 20 points, depending on what we're gonna see. This is the filter criteria, or basically the idea rated. So we're gonna go first into the painkiller. So you see these are the must checks. And here it says, it gives us a little bit of overview, and if we just read it carefully, it says partial pass, it's weak, there's a pass, okay, this one failed, this one's partially pass, partial pass, okay, let's see what the idea scorecard is. So you remember, now it's gonna go through those 3 blocks. Okay, so the buy and pain, which has maximum of 20, is rated by, if I read it correct, I don't know, but 3 out of 5. This is not so much. So the next one is maximum of 15. It's also 3, 2, 3, not so much. This one is 2. Doesn't sound so well, to be very honest. All right, okay, we thought that because of this paper here, management may be replaced immediately, very fast. Um, and based on this one, it gives a multiplier of 1.0. Why is 1.0? Well, it gets all of the paper and the insights in here that Anthropic will give us based on the theoretical capability. So let's say we trust this one and we get a score of 21 points and a 21 of total because of the multiplier. So this means it is below the 22, so kill or park. But before we kill or park it, we will get some recommendations here. So the recommendation here is actually then that the structure is a problem that is structural. The underlying insight is sound, but what happens when the brief is wrong or late, that lay wrong or late, that actually cost the buyer money on or their jobs. I don't understand this one here, should be very honest, but we may have a look. So if you want to have a look here, in the next thing, it will tell us about the kill criteria. So we can send out those cold LinkedIn messages and also get for the demand testing on here. So this is actually like an idea that it suggests us on what to do. So this is a good idea. If you want to have a look and you want to try this idea yourself, then DM me or go with me.